Hello, how are you doing today? So, today we'll continue with the PMP series, and we're covering the topic number one of the knowledge areas of PMP, of project management professionals. So, if you've ever done any projects, if you're interested in managing your projects correctly, this is the place to be. On my profile, on my page, Oli Sankara, all professional tips on projects. And so during this series, I'll be covering all the 10 knowledge areas of project management. And today I'm covering integration management. So the integration of the management, the job of the project manager essentially is right here. So I'll share 5 tips, only 5 tips, because of course it's a topic that's so much more condensed, so much more heavy. But I'll just share these 5 tips for you to have a feel and a taste of it, and for you to, get the jinx, the flow of it. So let's say you're organizing an event. Okay, you're organizing an event for 100 people who are coming from out of town, and women empowerment event. And you have to do the event, so that's the context, right? The setting. You're the project manager of an event that's supposed to be 2 hours long, say from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you have 100 guests who are to attend, and you rented a hall in a hotel at the Hilton Hotel, for example. What are some of the tips on integration management you have to take into consideration? Number one, tip I want to share with you is know when you're developing your project charter. So the reason why you're doing the event, you should be clear what are the benefits that you're going to get from this event. All right. So you do your benefit management plan, which is, it comes after doing your business case. Why are you doing the event? So your benefit management plan essentially will try to always have in mind, are my benefits outweighing my costs? And when I mean benefit outweighing my costs, it's not always financially, because there are intangible benefits, right? Like brand awareness, or empowering people, or for those in the NGO world, increasing the knowledge of people or their capacity to speak out for themselves. So the different ways to measure the benefits, but that's a class in itself. So that's number one thing. Make sure that your benefits are clear. The second thing is, as you're directing, right, the project work as a project manager, make sure that when you're monitoring, when you're controlling the deliverables, what is being delivered by the project, you're not just controlling the deliverables, you're controlling also the process to get to the deliverable. So for example, if during the event you hired a DJ to play music and everything from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., as a project manager, you will not wait till 3:30 when the DJ has not showed up to start panicking. As a project manager, you should have, point number 2, monitored and directed and managed the process to getting to the result. So that means that by 1 p.m., you should have called the DJ, hey, I hope you're on your way. If at 3 p.m. he's not in the hall yet, at 2 p.m. he's not in the hall yet, you go and pick him up. All right. So that's point number 2. Don't just direct the deliverables. Don't just monitor and control the deliverable, which is, you should do it, but monitor and control the processes to deliver the deliverables. All right. Number 3, lessons learned register, managing your project knowledge. All right. Make sure that you jot down the lessons that you're learning at each step of the way, at each phase in the project. If not, you will miss some information that could be very necessary afterwards, and you might fall again in the same pits. Whereas with the lessons learned register, you're clear with some of the things that you could redo, good practices, or that you could avoid, for the next project. Then the 4th point is change management. We know you can plan all you want in a project, but change is usually bound to happen. And so how do you manage change? So let's say you have your event, and then a high stakeholder, you're in your country like Cameroon, and the minister is like, hey, can you postpone your event by 2 hours? Right? The event that was supposed to be at 4 and end at 6 p.m. He's like, oh, can you postpone by 2 hours? Or, because since he's a high stakeholder. So what you have to do at that time is you have to do an impact analysis and see how that change would impact the other parts of the event, right? If you postpone the event by 2 hours, how would it affect the scope of the event? All right. Would 100 people still show up? Maybe there were many women, mothers who had their babies that already booked the babysitter for a certain hour till this hour, and they cannot go beyond that hour, for example. How would it affect the cost? Maybe you pay extra for the hall that you rented. How will it affect quality? Maybe it will be in the evening and you will not have a lighting that will give quality pictures. Maybe it will affect, you do an impact analysis, and, that is a class in itself too. So you do your change management, and the event, that's point number 5. Learn how to properly close your project. You close the procurements, you close the finances, you close the agreements, you formally, officially close them. All right, you don't just say, oh, the event is over, bye. Right. So those are just 5 tips. Integration management, as I said, is so much longer.